All right, hi guys. My name is Dana Atwood, and today we're going to be going over Google Sites, and we're going to be digging a little bit deeper, going more advanced than the last webinar I did. That was just the basics. We're going to go a little bit more advanced. We're not going to go full-fledged novice yet. We're just still in the beginning stages here. So advanced is a little bit more than the basics, obviously. So we're going to dig a little bit deeper into a couple things that I skipped over during the introduction to Google Sites, and we're going to see where we can go from here. Again, my name is Dana Atwood, and I'm a technology consultant for the East Central Ohio Educational Service Center. And we're going to just go ahead and dig in here with a quick little overview. I'm going to give a quick little run through again of sites just to make sure we're all caught up and on the same page. Then we're going to go over modifying the look of your site. I'm also going to show you how to create a custom header and how to share your site when we're done. We may touch on a few other things here and there, but for the most part, that's what we're going to look at. Again, Sites is a web-based web page creation tool. And just to make sure you know how to get there, again, you can go, once you're logged in to your Google account, you can click on the 9 little boxes up at the top on the right. Some people call it the waffle, some people call it the apps box, whatever you're familiar with. You can click on that and then click on Sites. I'm going to do the same thing here. Here's the apps box and click on Sites. This will take you to a list of all the sites that you have currently created. If you only have one, you'll see one. If you have none, you will see the Create box. And I'm going to go ahead and click on my site that I've already started. I'm assuming so far that you have maybe been in here and you've played around with it and you've already maybe created a test site, which is great. If you haven't, don't feel like you need to create a site right now. You can either join me and watch what I'm doing here and take notes as we go, or if you feel like creating a site, that's fine too. Just know if you're watching this live, you may be a little bit behind. If you're watching this as a recording, you can go ahead and pause it and create your site and come back if you like. If not, just go ahead and stick with us here. This is a site that I just kind of threw together. This is our training Google account, so we technically don't really use this for class purposes or in the classroom. So this is just something that I was playing around with here, and just so that you guys can have an idea. We're going to take a look first at just the quick little run through, and just in case you haven't created a site yet, and if you have created a site, just in case you missed something here real quick. All right, you should be looking at my screen where it says googlesites.com and then the URL of my page. I'm going to start up here on the top left, in the top right corner. We have our edit page icon, we have our create page icon, and we have our gear icon, which holds all the main settings for the site and the pages that you have through your site. We also have the share button. Right now, my site is only private to me. I've not published it so that other people can find it. And we'll go over that here towards the end. This home and where it says updated, that does not show when you do publish your site. That's not there. And I'll show you how it'll look here in a second as well. This is our header, and I will show you in a little bit too how to create our own header. And you do have the option to remove the Google search, but you can keep that as well. And this searches it within the site. To the left, on our menu list here, this is where we have our navigation site and list of all the pages. So when I click these, it'll take me to different pages that I have throughout my web page. And then I'll be able to edit these pages from here. So here's just a couple of my pages that I have. We also have the sitemap, and it breaks down a list of where everything is on your page. It also shows you who created it and when it was last updated. You click home, it goes back to home, or you can click your header link and it'll take you back there as well. When we click on our gear settings icon, a couple of the main sites that we're going to use throughout here and that you'll want to make sure that you're real comfortable with: the page settings, the preview page as viewer, the manage site, and then the sharing and permissions. I'm going to click this preview page as viewer, and this is the page that your viewers will see. So if you notice up here where it said home and updated, I'll toggle back to the other one. Here's what I'm talking about, where it says home and updated. That's gone. So your viewers will not be able to see that. They will also not be able to see your editing tools here too. So if you notice, that's gone. You can close that tab and go back to our website here. If you come back to our gear icon and click on settings, page settings. Page settings, remember, is always the page that you're on. So if you need to control any of the settings for this page, you'd click the gear settings and page settings. If I go to my announcements page, it's the same thing, gear settings and page settings. Those only control the settings for the page that you're on. Now, when you click on gear settings and manage site, when it says manage site, it manages your whole entire site. So this will cover everything for your site. To get back to that page, to your site's page, you just click the name of it and it'll take you back here. And then sharing and permissions we'll touch on here at the end. But I wanted to make sure that you knew that those existed, and that's where you can find that information. Now you may use some of these other settings, but today those are the main ones that we're going to go over. All right, we're going to go to modifying your site, how to make it more custom, cozy for you, and how to make it more personable for you. To do that, we're going to modify the site. So we do that under our manage site settings. All right, in my last training I set up, I went through these kind of quickly, but I didn't spend a lot of time on the themes and colors and fonts, that's where we're going to make this more personable. So I'm going to come down here to the bottom and click on themes, colors, and fonts. It's the very bottom selection on the left side menu. Okay. Another thing I want to point out and make sure that we're all on the same page, if we've been a part of the Google Apps for Education suite and using your Google Drive with docs and sheets and slides, and by using the Gmail feature, by creating emails, you've noticed that everything saves automatically as you go. You don't have to always click a save button or save as. It automatically updates. While you're working with Google Sites, you need to kind of go backwards just a little bit and remember that there's a save button now. So your changes are not automatically saved. So it'll be a good habit to get back into while you're working within Sites to kind of look for that visual, the save button, so that way you can make sure that the changes that you make do get saved. All right, I'm going to start with the theme here. The base theme allows you to start with an existing theme and make customizations. And so from here, you can, if you didn't already select a theme for your page, you can do it here. Or if you did select a theme for your page and you want to change it, you found it's overwhelming, you found it's the one that you selected is too bland, you can change it here. So you can just click on that and you have all your choices to select from that are kind of preset. They're kind of in there for you. So you can scroll through here and select a new theme. You can also preview it. So let's say I want to go with this winter mint icon or theme here. You can see what it looks like on your actual page. They give you a quick little preview. If you don't like it, you can go back in here and let's take a look at another one. But if you want to go back to the one you had, which I believe it was this one, you can do that as well. Now, if it's the only change you're making in here at this time, you can click cancel since you went back to the same one you had, or you can click save if you're updating it. Okay, I'm going to scroll back up here. So this is where we just went over our themes. So again, you can choose any of the ones that are here, or they're kind of pre-made themes, or you can kind of create your own and tweak what's here. So if you look down below where we selected our theme, it says entire page. And right now that's where my cursor, that's where I'm on because you can tell because it's red. So that's what's selected. So from here, I'm on my entire page. So this means the whole actual web page. And I'll show you just so you can take a look and know that difference. Right now we're on theme. So whatever our theme is that we just picked with our theme up here at the top, that's what it's defaulting to. But you can always change that as well. So let's say we do want a background color on our page. Maybe not super dark, maybe just a little bit light. I'll stick with this red theme. If you notice, our white background changed to a more of a pink, I guess, than a red. Maybe we have a little bit darker red. No, it's a little bright. So here's where you can kind of play with it, see what you like. Maybe we'll go with gray. Gray is not too awful. So we'll stick with that just for our example. So if you notice, our theme then went away and we went to our color that we created here. You can also choose none as well if you'd like nothing to show there. Image, you do have an option that you can add an image for your background as well. I'm going to just show you the example of this here. I have a image in here already. So if you have an image for your background that you would like to go there instead, this is huge image, you can put that in there. You can come back and you can kind of select a couple different options. So after we add our image, our options popped up here. You can click that. You can click repeat, so it repeats through your page, or you can just click none, so it just stays fixed. You can decide where you would like it aligned. You can also fix the position, and you can also stretch to cover. So my picture of my keyboard stretched the whole screen, but after looking at it, obviously it's very busy and it's a lot going on. Maybe if I had it faded, it wouldn't be too bad, but it's really a lot going on. So I'm going to scrap that and I'm going to go back to my theme that I had selected and saved already. But I just wanted to show you that that was an option. And you also have the option to do a wrapper image, and you would load that and do the same thing from here. I'm going to go back to theme. And now I'm going to go down and click text. Again, we're still going over the entire page. So now this is where you can change your text for the entire page. Right now, again, we're all on theme because that's what we selected at the top here. But you can also change it here. So you change your font. And Google Sites does not have a lot of the normal fonts that you would see in Docs sometimes. It loaded for me here now, but one thing that you want to kind of have that visual for is that you don't want something that's going to be super hard to read, or maybe it looks okay on your screen, but you need to keep in mind that as people are looking at this on different devices, especially if you're doing this on your computer, it may look a lot different on a cell phone or a Chromebook or a tablet. So when picking out your fonts, I'd make sure that you pick something that's pretty easy to read and that looks pretty clear. I'm going to stick with my theme here. You can also change the color of your font. So then that changes it for the whole site. So that'll keep that in mind as well. I'm going to go back to my theme. You can change the size of your font for the whole site. To large or small. I'm going to go back to theme, and the link colors and the visited link colors. So if you have a hyperlink inserted into your page that you're going to click to go to a different site, you can have it be whatever color you would like it to be, and then after you come back to the site, you can select a different color so you can show that you've already been there. Again, this is the settings, theme settings for the entire page. This is your site header when you go down to the next option. Again, you can choose your background and you have your title. So right now I have the theme set up for my background. I can also change that to none as I have a picture in here. So that doesn't really matter if you're going to be putting in a picture. If you do choose a picture, which I have here, and I'll show you what we're gonna go to creating a header here in a little bit, but if you'll see my picture of my keyboard looks really big and blown up. I want to change that here, so we're going to do that here in a little bit. But I'm going to leave it as is for now. All right, I'm going to go down to our content area, and our content area is basically what drives the site. So then we've got the background of our content area, the page title of our content area, and then our default headers. So again, this is basically the links. Let me open this again here. These would be the pages that we have right here. So that would be the content, what's going into that. We've got content area gadgets, we've got sidebar gadgets, and we have horizontal navigation. Now you do have that option to change your navigation. This is our vertical navigation, and we can make it horizontal where it goes up across our screen, and that appearance will change. So this is where you would change that horizontal navigation at. And again, each one has its own different options that you can select, the different fonts, colors, sizes, and the background colors, drop downs, layouts. So you can get as detailed as you want. I do want to say though that when you keep it simple and you keep everything clean and sharp and crisp, that's when you're going to keep everybody's attention. When you have the glitter theme with tons of different colors of everything and it's hard to read some of your fonts, that's when you start losing your visitors to your site and you start losing their attention and they're not paying attention to the reason that they're there. So with that in mind, if you haven't already created your site or you're working on this, I'd kind of get like a layout idea in your head just on how you visually want your site to look. I would maybe draw that out on some scratch paper or play around with it. I mean, until you make this live and until you share it, no one's going to see this. So this is just you looking at this and getting the feel for how everything looks. All right, I want to hop over to show you how to create the custom header while we're still kind of in here messing around with the look and the feel and the modification of your site. So I'm going to go back to my site header here. And again, this is right here, this image, this black image that I have here. I'm going to go ahead and click theme, because then you'll see where I'm at here. I'm going to go ahead and click my image again and open and show you what it looks like again with that image in there, so that you have an idea of the space and the area that we're talking about as we do this. So this would be when you first come to your site, this is what's staying at the head of the site, and this is what everybody's seeing. So if you want to add maybe your school logo in here, maybe you teach math and you want to put something that has to do with math in there, or you want to add books, you can get as fancy with this as you want, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Everybody has, through the Google Apps for Education suite, access to the your email and then Google Drive. And then through Google Drive, you have the option to use Google Drawings. And I'm going to go ahead and go to Drive here, so that way you can see this as well and see where I'm getting this from. All right, I'm going to click New, I'm going to click More, and I'm going to click Google Drawings. Again, that's opening up your Drive, clicking New, the red New box, clicking More, and clicking Google Drawings. Now, I'm not going to dig real deep into Google Drawings. I'm just going to show you the basics of how to do this. That way, from here, you can take a look at it at a later time and see what works for you and play with it from here. First thing, when always entering a Google Apps product, you want to go ahead and name it. So I'm just going to call this Header for Tech Website. All right, so then while we do that, we're going to click on File, and then we're going to click Page Setup. Right here, we're going to predetermine the width and the height for our header, for that section that we have to use, because we don't have a whole page to deal with. We don't want to take up the first part, the whole screen of our Google site with a header. We just have a small section that we want. So I'm going to click on where it says Page Setup, and this is my options that I have. I've got Standard, Widescreen, and Custom. I'm going to click Custom. And then from here, we're going to predetermine how many pixels we want. So I'm going to click our drop down where it says inches, and I'm going to click on pixels. And I'm going to change this to 800 by 125. 800 is the width, and 125 pixels is the height. So I'll give you a second if you're making a note on this. Again, 800 is the width and 125 is the height, and this is of our header. Again, we're doing page setup under custom with pixels. It may default to inches while you're in here, but go ahead and change that to pixels and then click OK. And you'll see our screen size went from the full page to just a chunk, a small portion of the page. So now while we're in here, you can place objects and layer images and basically create what you want to. You don't have to be a design artist, a visual design artist. You don't have to be a graphic artist. You don't have to have a bunch of different knowledge on how to create graphics either. This is just something short and sweet and simple that you can do. One of the great features about Google is that you can bring in images from the web that are copyright infringement free, so you don't have to worry about copywriting somebody else's work from that aspect. You can click on Insert an Image, and you can click Search. So let's say we've got a language arts class or reading class. You can type in books, click Search, select that picture, click OK, and it's going to insert this here. So you can stretch it. Obviously, you don't want to stretch it too far, but you can kind of manipulate that picture for what you need it to be. You can move it to whatever spot here on your graphic that you'd like. You can do a right-click copy and a right-click paste, and you can add two of the same images if you'd like. From here, you can also add a text box. So you can call this reading reading class, and maybe put the time your class starts. You can then take that and change the different text. Whoa, that's a little big there. We'll shrink that down, make this longer, change the text color maybe to that bright green. That's a little hard on the eyes. Blue is a little bit easier. All right, we can make our background maybe a lighter blue. So again, I've just created this by inserting an image and some font. And I can move my font around to wherever I need it to be on the screen. I can get as fancy with this as I want. I can make it as simple as I want. But just a couple of the things that I just showed you with that, you can take this from wherever and go with it. I'm going to undo back to kind of where I was here. Go back to the start. All right. And I don't know if you can see or not. I know the way my screen is, it's I have to move my head a little bit, but you can see the checker pattern here in the background. That checker pattern will not show up on your actual image. It's just going to be transparent or white. Any content that you don't put here, that's not going to show. So don't freak out about that. Anyway, I want to insert my picture. So I'm going to go back to what I was wanting to do here, but I just wanted to show you the basic editing tools behind this. I'm going to go insert an image, and I believe this is on my Google Drive. So again, you can pull anything from your Google Drive. You can upload a picture from your computer. You can take a snapshot of yourself. If you have a URL of the site, you can put in there. You can bring it in from your albums from Google+, your Google Drive, or searching. So you have a wide range of places to find that picture from. So I'm going to go back to my keyboard picture here, and I'm going to go ahead and click that and click select. Now this is the original size of this picture that's coming in here. Now from here, I can stretch it, and that doesn't look too good there. So I don't think I like that. Can do undo. I can bring it all the way down here. I can stretch it. To where it's only going to show that part. But that's not what I want to do. Go back and click undo here. All right, I'm going to stretch this just a little bit. And then I've got a couple other pictures that I want to insert here too. These are just a couple of different technology pictures that I had on my actual drive. So I'm just going to show you how I make this visual setup here. Gonna go back to my keyboard, make sure I'm at the very end. All right, now I'm going to add my text box here. Just kind of throw a little bit of text in here. All right, so I'm going to center that. I'm going to bold it. Make that a little bit bigger there. Oh, it's not going to work. Why don't we just shorten it to tech class? So that way we make our font bigger. So you have all sorts of different editing tools and options while you're in here as well. You have different shapes that you can add. And you can edit that from there. I'm going to leave that. So I just wanted to show you that you had that option too. So it's not super fancy, but at the same time, it was just a couple things that I had automatically on hand, and just to show you what I'm doing with this and to kind of let you know that you can be as creative as you want with creating your header. So again, with Google, I don't have to save this. All changes are already saved in my drive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my sites, and I'm going to upload that picture. So again, I'm back under the Manage Site category. I'm down at the bottom under Themes, Colors, and Fonts. I'm under the Site Header option, and I'm on Background. So again, this is the Site Header, which is this area right here. So you'll see my really big keyboard that I have here. I'm going to click the image again. Oh, and you know what? And I forgot. This is the other thing. It does not have your Google Drive on here. So let me go backwards a minute here. I'm going to go back to my Google Drive. Google's great. It's getting to be that functionality where everything is incorporated, but at the same time, there's a few things that they've left out and that we think should be there by now, but they're not, but it's okay. So I saved it in my Google Drive because I did it in my Google Drawings. So my Google Drive, I'm going to right click on that image and I'm going to click download. So right now my image is downloading to my downloads folder on my computer. So now I'm going to go back to my Google Sites. Now I can click on my image. I'm going to go to my downloads folder. And maybe not find it. Bear with me a minute while I try and find it. We'll just type in a name and see if it'll pop up. There we go. All right. So I already have my text in there, so I'm going to have to remove that. But it looks like my picture's there. My options, let's do none. And I want to center that and center that. So I'm going to click Save. I'm going to go back to my technology class. All right, so I know I need to remove my title here. I'm okay with my search, so I think we're okay. Let's go to Manage Site. And see if this one was it. There we go. So now that's gone. It kind of shrunk my header a little bit, and it looks like we can make it larger too. I was just going off of a preset size that I had found online, but I would look at this too on different devices to see kind of how that looks as well. So if you are using Chromebooks, I want to pull it up on a Chromebook to kind of gauge how that is. You can take those pixel sizes that I gave you, the 800 by 125, and you can also, change that to what's going to work best for you and fit as well. I would also look at it on a smartphone too, just to kind of see how that looks, and you can go from there. But just to give you an idea that you can create your own custom header, you can put your school logo in there, you can put, just something that pertains to your class and do it that way. I want to show you a couple other things that you can do to your site as well, and that you can add and insert. We know that we can insert pictures, and we know that we can insert text. We can change our color, size, and font. But I want to show you too that you can insert different things called a gadget, which is what this is with my fish, and you can insert a calendar. So the fish is kind of fun, something different. You can click on it and you can give them food. It's just something different. It's a gadget, so it's something that you're not going to need or use all the time, but it's just something for fun and a little distraction to put on your site. But you can also insert a calendar as well. I know we went over the calendars in the last section. I'm just going to visit that again here real quick just so you can see that. I'm going to go back to my top of my page here and click Edit. This is the page that I have the calendar on and that I want to make sure it shows through here. To be able to get to it, I'll add another one here right in this spot just so that you can see it. To get to be able to insert some things, we're going to click on Insert, and we have tons of options that we can insert actually into our Google site. Yes, we have our image and our links. We can create a table of contents, sub-listings, a horizontal line for visual purposes. You can do text boxes. This is where we do our gadgets, and we'll get back to that here in a minute. You can also add, if you have some Google scripts already that you have created or you found online, you can do that here. Here's our calendar, which is what we're going to do. We can do Drive, a chart, stuff from Drive, stuff from Google+. We can start a Hangout button on there. We can do maps and even YouTube videos. But for right now, I'm going to do calendar. And again, I know we've been over this before, but I'm just going to touch on this again here real quick. You select the calendar that you want. You go ahead and you click OK. And this is where you can predetermine your pixels, so you can mess with this if you want it larger, smaller. This is where you would do that at. You would leave the width empty if you want it to be 100% to fill up the rest of that box, the content window that's there. You can select if you want it to be a week view, month view, or agenda. If you're doing maybe a sports calendar, I know I like to do that on my different school websites in an agenda view, just so they can kind of get a rundown. Maybe you're doing a calendar for assignments that are due. The agenda view is nice for that too. Maybe if you're doing office hours, the week view is great for that. I'm going to stick with month view just so you can see how that looks there. Or you know, maybe I'll do agenda. We'll try that. You can choose a time zone. So I'm going to scroll down to find mine here. And then you have your display options. Within the Google Calendar, you have tons of different options that you can see. If you don't want people to have all those options, you can strip them down or you can keep them there. This is so that you can change how it looks. It shows your calendar name, navigation buttons, the current date, border, and the title. You can uncheck that and you can drop it in there, so you'll see it kind of filled up here. I'm going to click save just so you can see how that looks. So this is my agenda view for my calendar. Obviously, just I've got today that's going on. It's not going to show you the past unless you go back, but you'll see the other sessions that I've done as well. So you have the option to toggle through the weeks. You have the option to toggle through the calendar here. You can print. The week tab is here. It doesn't list all of them at the top, and there's no scroll button to go to the side. So that's why I kind of stripped down all those features when I'm in there. Now, if you want to go back and edit that, you can click Edit the Page, select the actual content window, and then Settings, and that'll take you to the properties to edit this. So we can go ahead and strip all that. I'm going to click Save and just kind of show you how that looks now by stripping those features away. So now the only option you really have is to print from here. I'm going to go back to my edit. I'm actually going to select on the content window again and just remove that. All right, so that's again adding the calendar to your site for that. A couple other things that you can do. You can also insert from your Google Drive account. So I know I have a spreadsheet that I started. I just was playing with something earlier a little bit ago. So here it is, my in-class technology. So what this does is it takes you straight to your Google Drive account. So if you didn't want a spreadsheet, you can click Documents instead, but you've got Documents, your presentations, your spreadsheets, any forms that you have, and you can even go into videos, images, drawings, and folders. This was a spreadsheet. So this is the one actually that I want, so I'm going to click that and click Select. Then you have a few more options. You can include a border around your Google Sheet. You can include the title, which is great. We can change that too. We've got our height and our width, and save as spreadsheet. I'm going to change that to published. Now I'm going to click save. I'm going to save again just so I can view this. So here is my spreadsheet that I have. All right, so it says sheet 1 because these would be my tabs at the bottom of my spreadsheet. It's got my little chart that I've made. So I already have my title here. I don't like this, so let's see if we can change this a little bit. So again, I'm going to click Edit Page and back to my content window, and I'm going to click the settings gear. All right, let's uncheck that and click save and see how this looks, and save again. So it erase my duplicate name. It shows I'm on sheet 1 and sheet 1 here. And I can also change the size here. So my height is 600 pixels. Let's change that down to 3 and see what that looks like. By not setting the width, it contains it within the field that I'm in. So I shortened it, and now you have to scroll down, but that's no big loss. Either way, you still have that option. So you can see how I added what my spreadsheet was into my actual website itself. So again, this is something that would pertain to your class. You wouldn't maybe do this on all of the pages. It'd just be an option, so that way you can insert something you've created within your Google Docs straight into your website, and you don't even have to do a lot of the formatting or editing. It's all kind of there. So that's kind of a cool feature. And again, with that integration that Google's using is great. So you can be able to use what you already have without recreating something in something else. All right, I will show you how to insert a gadget. My page is getting kind of full up here, but we will find a spot for it. All right, this is back under our, we're editing our page, and we're going to click insert, and we're going to click on more gadgets. Now there's kind of a 2 different breakdown feature with the gadgets. You've got featured ones and you have public. Featured ones are more popular, that a lot of people have used, and what Google's kind of promoting too. And it's more of Google themed ideas. The public ones are ones that the actual public created and aren't the original Google, so they could be third party. They may stop working at some point in time, but for right now they're there, and Google even may change them and make them a featured one. But from here you have the option to add your Google Calendar, which we've done that, but this is just a little bit different of a gadget. If you have a Twitter account, you can add your own follow button and sync that to your Twitter account. Google Plus Share, when you do this, you can share, you can add a Google Plus Share button to your page. So you can share stuff from your Google account here. You can add your YouTube news element. Visitors can see the latest YouTube news. You have a slideshow maker, so you can add this gadget from of your Google sites of your Google Slides onto your Google Sites. So you can do that as well. And you also have the option to embed an image, or sorry, embed a gadget. This would be insert an embedding in your Google site. And then the news story, you've got Google News. Leaderboard, you've got the news element. You've got Google Groups. You can include a gadget with an iframe, include other web page onto your site. If you maybe are doing something with a fundraiser, you can add the PayPal account to that. If your school has one, you can set that up that way. Awesome Tables, just another feature using Google Sheets. If you do the RSS feeds, you can add that. You can add a Twitter widget, click to call me button, and then a Twitter tweet button here as well. So again, those are just basic ones that Google supports and backs. So you can play with any of these, add them, remove them, see what you like. Again, you don't even have to use these. I'm just letting you know they're there and they're an option. Under the public ones, again, these are ones that people have created on their own, and they've Google has created on the side and they've added, and it's just something different. You can add your own weather here. I'm going to select this. Again, you can create the size that you want, include a scroll bar when necessary, include a border, display, view. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to click Save. And it should actually pick up the weather for the area that I'm in, but it says, and takes me to the actual website. But I just actually, I think this one may be unsupported. Sometimes they do that. Of course. So I'm just going to come back and click edit and get rid of this one. So this may be an example of one that is starting to become unsupported. They don't really remove them that frequent, but so that was the weather one that could be on its way out the door. But again, you can go through these, play with them. If you like them, keep them. If not, you don't have to keep them. This is just something fun and different that you can add to your site. You can scroll through here, countdown to Christmas in here if you'd like. They even have virtual pets. So it's getting kind of crazy. But again, if this is something that fits your needs with your site that you're doing, you can go ahead and add that too. Again, this one says it's no longer available. So they do look like maybe they come and go. But again, play with them, see what you think. If you like them, go ahead and add them. If not, then you can go ahead and remove them. So again, this was the gadgets where you went to insert, oops, more gadgets. The featured are obviously Google sponsored, and the public was created differently there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and click save. All right, so we went over our custom header, our site layout, and how that looks, and how to insert a few different options. Again, that was under our edit page, selecting where you want to paste the content, and then insert. And those are all your options that you have that you can insert into your actual site. Click cancel. All right, so now we're going to go over sharing here and how do you actually share your site. And I believe that that's, then from here we'll wrap up and then we'll revisit about, we'll look into going deeper to Google Sites down the road. But this is just kind of a little bit more in depth of what we're doing for our Google Sites and this different stuff that you can do. All right. When you're done with your site and you're happy with how it looks, you're okay with how how visible it is, the colors, you think that you're good with this. Maybe you've had some people proofread it. You decided, okay, I'm ready to go live, and this is your big moment. So now we're going to come up here at the top and we're going to click share, and this is where all your settings will be with our sharing and the permissions with this. You can either do that or you can go to manage site and click sharing and permissions. It's going to take you to the same spot. So right now we're on the sharing and permissions screen. If you want to share the site with just specific people, then you can enter their email addresses at the bottom right down here, and then you can invite people in this box. Now let's say you would want to do this in the setting of maybe you just want your class. So if you have your class that has their Google accounts, you would add all your kids' names in here, and then they'd have access to view this. Now that would only be for them to see it. You wouldn't be able to see it on the World Wide Web. Also, if you do that, you want to make sure that you watch your settings over here when you invite people, because if these are the students that you're not going to have editing privileges to your site, then you want to make sure that they can view only. So you would change that so that they can view the site only. Now, if you maybe have your own website editing class and they're all working together on this site, this is where you want to change it to can edit. So then those students would be able to edit the pages. Now, if you needed to change ownership of the actual site or share ownership, you would be able to do that from here and click is owner. So they would have full site access. You can also enable page level permissions. So maybe you have certain people that you want to have access to different pages. You can do that here. But for right now, we're just going to focus back on where we invite people. So you can do that here. So this is just strictly that you just want people in your domain or certain people to have access to this site. So we're not viewing this on the actual web. So that's when you do that here. Or maybe you want somebody to preview your site before you go live. You can share it to them rather than having them look at your computer screen. You can do that here too. So this is where you enter in the email addresses. And when you do this, you can check this box. That way it notifies them. And then you can add a message, just like when you share a Google Doc. And then you can also send a copy to yourself. So again, another visual just to make sure, I would always send a message to that person to let them know what's going on. But before you click send, do this. You can always change it later, but it's good just to make sure that you don't forget and you have that set. But you can also make it so that anybody has access to the website too. And I will show you how to do that. So this will be, if you want your site to be visible to more people, you will click where it says see who, where it says who has access, versus private, only you can access. So right now I'm the only one that can see that. But if I want to be able to share this with everybody else, and I'm going to click change, and then I'll have some more options here. So this will open our visibility options screen, where now we can choose who can see your site, including public on the web, anyone with the link, or people, or only people within your domain. So this is kind of where you want to ask yourself the question, is this something that's only people within my site, in my domain, in my school system? Is this something that only these people are going to see? Or is this everybody on the World Wide Web going to see? So basically, you're either going to be one of the other, usually when you do something like this. So you can click public on the web. That way everybody on the web can see it, or on your domain. So those are the main two that you're going to use. This one with anyone with the link, and this one with anyone with the link. That's everyone publicly with the link, and this is everybody within your domain. And then again, off is when you share it with specific people. So I'm just going to click on anyone with the link right now, because I don't want this to really go out and everybody to find it, because again, this is just our test site here. So I'm going to click, and then obviously it says that they can view. I'm going to click save. So again, this is another spot where you'd want to click save. So right now, another visual to check, it says who has access. It says anyone at ECO-ESC who has the link can view it, and it shows that I am the owner. And if I want to invite more people here, I can do that as well. And then you also have the option up here, like I mentioned, to set permissions and visibility on individual pages within your site rather than the entire site as a whole. So maybe you have the web class that they each have their own page within your actual site. So if you click on this, you want to click the button that's labeled to enable it. And then you are now able to select individual pages and adjust who has access to them. This is, again, useful if you have sections of your site that are not public or only viewable by certain people. So then when you enable that, it's going to tell you that it's working up here at the top. And then you can go down link by link. So right now it defaults to use the same permissions as permissions and members as the technology class. You can click on change, and you can click the second radio button, and then there's more options here. This is when new users or groups are added to the site, your custom permissions. You can add new users to this page or do not add new users to this page. So whatever one best suits your need. and you can click Save. And then from here, if this is our site, so this is our site permissions. Now it shows at this page that we can manage and add people from here. And that's where you would do that from. All right, well, that pretty much sums up what we were going to go over today. Let me go ahead and throw my contact information back up here in case you need to grab that again. You can look for me on Google Plus Dana Atwood 25. I'm always posting stuff that looks interesting or stuff that's updating through Google on there in case you need to access it at any point in time. You can find that there. And that's pretty much it. We'll look for you next week, and you can sign up for more classes, and we'll go from there. All right, thanks very much. Have a good day.